It's Friday, January 4th, Saturday, January 5th, if you're on the East Coast or across the pond. And this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you had a great day and night. I am your host, Dave Scott, broadcasting to you live from the Great White North on top of the snowy mountains of central British Columbia, right here at SOR headquarters. We welcome you nightly on the SOR Radio Network and Deep Talk Radio. Remember, if you want to subscribe to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. As of now, shop at our brand new Spaced Out Radio store. We got t-shirts, hats, toques, bags, pillows, and a nice pair of socks as well. Read up on the SOR Newswire put together by Captain Shirk and much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by the YouTube channel Ensuho. Sebastian Martin creates high-quality messages for the masses. Go to our website, click on the Ensuho banner, and subscribe today. Normally, we have our Keith Andrews on for the first Friday of the month for the ET Connection. However, we thought we'd let you all know that a couple of days after Christmas, Keith actually suffered a stroke and is currently recovering in hospital. The good news is Keith is okay. He has the ability to move most of his body parts, if not all of them, and we're pretty happy to report that. We at Space Out Radio wish Keith and his family, especially his two sons, all of our prayers and thoughts as he begins to recover from this health issue. So filling in for Keith tonight is Forest Moon Paranormal's Eric Cooper. Many of you have heard Coop on the show before. Part of Eric's job is dealing with not only ghosts, but aliens and ET contact and abduction as well. So tonight we're going to talk with Eric about the relationship between ghosts and aliens. Is there even one? We'll find out. And then we've given Olaf Phillips the night off from Paranoia Magazine, so I will be taking care of the SOR Newswire tonight. Eric Cooper, welcome back, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing, Dave?
I am good. I am very, very good. You know, a lot of people, and I'm going to state this, a lot of people, because of what Keith talks about, think that he is just a real loose cannon, a guy who is just way far out there and probably, you know, driving on 3 flat tires. But I'll tell you, he is one of the nicest men that I have ever met. You've met him a couple of times as well, and you can speak to him as well. But, you know, I've never seen a man as dedicated to his children as Keith is. Keith doesn't make a lot of money. Thank goodness for the Canadian healthcare system, where he can just get help that he needs. No, that's not a shot at you in the United States, but, you know, Keith is, he works hard for every little bit and every little scrap that he has acquired in this life. And his 2 boys, I believe they're aged 12 and 20, those boys absolutely think the world of their father. And, you know, to have Keith going through this situation, apparently he suffered a stroke on December 27th. I have talked to him. Eric has talked to him. His speech is a little bit slurred, but and maybe you know a little bit more than I do, Eric, but, you know, the main thing is he has mobility. He's not paralyzed anywhere. And maybe you could speak a little bit more about that.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, they actually gave him a pass to let him go home for, I believe it was New Year's Eve, because, yeah, it happened after Christmas, so he got to go home to see his kids New Year's Eve with the agreement he would go right back to the hospital, and he did. He is expected to make a full recovery, and, yeah, he is hard to understand, and he's having a hard time with function as far as his left side talking to his right, but cognitively he is fully functional, which is great. I mean, because you know, strokes are a hard one to understand and a hard one. It could have been worse, a lot worse. But he is expected to make a recovery. We missed him in S4 as well. I had no idea why he, you know, wasn't there, and found out after the fact why he wasn't on S4. But yeah, and you know, Again, yeah, he's been in our last two FMP Paracons. So, yeah, he's very well versed in what he does. He's a great astrologer as well. And yeah, thank God you've got the Canadian healthcare system because, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we wish them all well. And so for those of you who like the woo train that Keith brings on a nightly basis when he is on this show, we got Coop. Have you got your woo train horn all ready for tonight?
Hands down. Yeah. And being as we cover alien abduction with FMP and UFO sightings and whatnot, I've studied alien races extensively for the last, 2-3 years, and actually bounced a lot of my research off of Keith, which,
right,
other than a name change here and a name change there, a lot of my research is parallel his, with the exception that he knows a whole heck of a lot more than I do.
Yes.
So, and yeah, there's the woo-woo factor that we all get thrown at. You've got the people that, oh yeah, ghosts exist hands down, but there can't be aliens. And seriously, the paranormal is the paranormal. Whether it's ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, cryptids, it's all under one umbrella. And they all have a lot of similarities. I won't say there's a connection between them. I haven't found the connection, we'll say. One connection with what we do on FMP is raise vibration. Now, you raise vibration, an energy vibration of the client, it has the same effect whether it's a negative entity or an alien. With abduction, for example, you raise the vibration of the environment and of the client. Neither one of them can come around. It's a lower vibration that brings in depression. It's a lower vibration that brings in negative entities. So that is the only connection I've found.
Well, you know what? I want to make one comment about Keith here before we continue on with the show topic for tonight. I get a lot of people out there like, and it happens every month. Not as much as it used to, but everybody be like, dude, why do you have that Keith guy on? He is just, so far out there. I mean, they just, you either love him or you hate him. You know what I'm saying? He's because of the topics, because of the sound of his voice or the high pitch of his voice, he's easy to bug. And it's funny because for as many people as I get a month saying to me, why do you have him on the air? Guy's a loose cannon. He's nuts. Listen to what he's talking about. I mean, you've heard it, Eric. And yet when I check the ratings every month of him and Butch Witkowski are my two top-rated shows every month.
And I would agree with you.
And I just think it's funny. You guys, all these people are like, get that idiot off the air. And in the meantime, you go and look at the numbers, and you're like, how do I do that? You're right.
Unless you walked in someone's shoes. I wouldn't want to walk in his shoes. I could never fill his shoes. So, yeah. And I'm telling you right now, anytime you talk UFOs and aliens, is probably, even on S4, our highest rated show. People want to hear alien. They want to hear UFO.
Yes, I agree.
We even drop on conspiracies. We have more people that listen for alien abduction and UFO than they do conspiracy or any kind of haunting. I think part of that is because haunting is overdone. So unless you're telling them how to.
Yes.
Like if you're talking paranormal protection, they listen. But again, it doesn't top UFO and alien. And when you get someone. Well, when you get someone with the quality of Keith and his knowledge, that's just, that tops it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And, it's funny because I have steadily, over the last 4 years, watched my numbers go down, down, down every time I have a conspiracy show. Doesn't matter if it JFK people still like, but when you get into like 9/11 or you get into any other type of conspiracy, I mean, that alternative group led by the super, I'm not a fan of Alex Jones, and I've never been a fan of his. I think he is, I have my opinion, and I'll hold it at that because I could start swearing quite quickly. And the funny part about it is I'm quite conservative too, Eric. I mean, you know that politically for me. So not to like Alex Jones, I'm an anomaly. But the fact is when you have people like that who have absolutely taken the fun out of any type of conspiracy theory, I can't even book a conspiracy show now outside of JFK because the wraith and the anger that comes out of people, it's just not worth it anymore. It really is not worth it. And whether I'm a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, I am. I have no problem saying it. And Building 7 is what does it for me. But I can't go down that road anymore because every time I do, our show gets beaten up on the ratings, and it's just not worth the topic anymore.
Right. I think when you put too much politics along with the conspiracy, that's where Alex Jones lost me. Back in the early 90s, when he was a genuine conspiracy theorist, he didn't bring politics into it so much. I've got documentaries saved where when he went and broke into Bohemian Grove, it was great. There was no politics. It was straight conspiracy. Now, you listen to anything Alex Jones has to say, it's all about, politics. And there's no conspiracy there. He's not a conspiracy theorist anymore.
No. Everything that and I will say this, from a journalistic point of view, everything that he's got in the last year or so where he's gotten into the hot water, it's been well-deserved. Well-deserved. And don't give me this, for people who are supporters, don't give me this freedom of speech stuff. All right? Because what he was doing is not journalism. It's not journalism whatsoever. And that we'll save that topic for another day. But right. I'll debate it. I'll debate anybody on that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But nonetheless, tonight we are talking about ghosts and aliens because you deal with both of them in Forest Moon Paranormal, and you're a team that, for people who don't know or don't know your history, you're a team that does ghost and alien cases, if I'm going to call them that, a little bit differently than everybody else does. And I'm just curious, for the people who don't know or don't know who Eric Cooper is or Forest Moon Paranormal is, what is your team all about? What are you made of?
So we are we're not an evidential team. We are straight emergency response. That's what we pride ourselves in. We've probably set the standard in emergency responding when it comes to that. And part of what we're doing in 2019 is changing up our training a little bit and comparing the incident command system, which was developed by FEMA, was actually started in California in the 70s with fire department response. If you look at the way the ICS system is set up, it's pretty much the way we've always run. And that is, we can usually, depending on how fast the client contacts us and how fast we respond, we can resolve the case within 24 hours from start to finish. What we do is we have an astral team, and I'll go into that in a sec. The difference between what we do in remote viewing, because I get asked that all the time is, so you guys are remote viewers. No, we're not. We're an astral combat team. And, I get beat up by all the woo factor with that all the time too. But it's not woo. We have the caseload to prove that. You can talk to any of our clients that want to come out and talk, and they can tell you that we come in, we clear the situation, whether it's a malevolent entity or we pass the spirit over, And we're all about respect. We're all about respecting the spirit as well as the client. And oftentimes, when you're dealing with just a simple spirit, if they don't know they've passed on, you can actually do a mediation and actually explain to them that, you know, you've died and now you're terrifying the family. And once they understand that they're scaring the dog and the kids, and they agree, okay, well, I'm sorry, you can do a mediation where they can stay there. Because contrary to a lot of popular beliefs, spirits do not have to pass over. They can stay. I mean, case in point, you've been to the hub, the concrete, you know,
Yes.
cabin. There's a 22-year-old spirit that he died in the 1900s. There's no reason to pass him over. He's having the time of his life. He's having fun. So there's no point in passing a spirit that doesn't want to go over if he's not doing any damage. So, and you know, again, with UFO sightings, with abduction cases, we do what we can. Those are cases that you can't always completely stop them. And that's a hard one. We're actually re-looking at alien cases right now because of the safety factor with the team as well. We've had some issues back in November. Actually, we got involved with a my lab, and that wasn't fun. It brought some danger to the team, and so we're kind of on hiatus with abduction cases right now. We'll look at them. We'll see what we can do. I've got some ideas I want to try as far as revamping the protocols that we're doing, and try extending the extended care team. So the extended care team, once the safety factor is done, the malevolent entity is gone, the spirit has been passed over, then the extended care team comes in, and that's Chris Dodge is the team lead on that. And they basically teach the client how to take their home back, how to ground themselves, how to shield themselves, you know, different cleansing factors they can do in their home or their business. Sometimes we have a business that approaches us. So that's not a timed event either. I mean, extended care can take even a day. It all depends on how quick the client is grasping what we're teaching them. Because if you're not shielding properly, if you're not grounding properly, you're not gonna fix the situation. And we'll be back. So that's us in a nutshell. We also have Francie. She's our licensed therapist. So we actually have psychiatric on the team as well. And she's very instrumental in what we do. And then, of course, we have two scientists. We have an atmospheric scientist, and we have Markham, our microbiologist. So when you're talking about a team, we're well-rounded with what we do when it comes to the science, the psychiatric, and the astral combat side.
Right. And you know what? That's a good thing. I mean, you have to have a well-rounded team with that. And Keith Andrews is part of your team as well, as kind of your local ET expert as well. Yes. And he's great. What do you bounce off of him?
Oh, well, okay. So if we have an abduction case and they've seen a craft, he's great with that. I know he's writing a book, and I keep telling him he needs to hurry up with it because he can actually tell you which race is flying what kind of craft. If it's a cigar-shaped craft, for example, it could be a Tekla or it could be Pleiadian or the Consortium. So if the abductee has seen a certain craft and can tell us, you know, a good description, the light patterns, that kind of thing, then I'll bounce it off Keith. Which race is this, and what's their motivation? Why are they abducting? Are they part of the DNA aspect, or the scientific race, or the social race? What are they doing? And there's been a few times where we kind of stumped him and he had to do a little more research, but for the most part, he can answer most of our questions and issues.
Well, that's good. And, you know, as long as everybody works together and brings an important aspect to the team, that's all that it's about. We got about let's see here, 2 minutes left before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. And I'm wondering, in regards to your team, the way you guys deal with ghosts and you deal with extraterrestrials, on your caseload, how does it pan out? Is it like 60-40 ghosts, 50-50, 70-30 aliens? How is it working for you?
I think you got it right with about a 70 alien, 30, 70 spirit, 30 alien. I think in the day and age we live, most abductees are still, even with the beginning of disclosure last year, we did see a little bit of a rise, but I don't think that was a rise in abductions as much as it was there's more media talking about UFOs that some of them were more willing to come out and talk about it, but I'd say 70-30. Again, we still have more, there's knocking on my door, there's footsteps, I hear voices, that kind of thing. And when it comes to the kids, my kid's terrified to go down the hall is common. And most of the time, that's spirit, that's malevolent entity, not alien. So we'll see what 2019 brings. That's my curiosity, because I have seen a rise in UFO sightings already in the first 4 days of the month, or of the year, actually. So we'll see what 2019 brings.
Do you think it'll be the year of the UFO again for 2 years in a row here?
I don't know. I'm holding my breath and watching. I really am. And I think it was your New Year's show when you were talking about where the ghosts have gone. I think the haunting side of the paranormal. I agree. I think it was Rich that was talking about it. It might have been Tess. That it's been overplayed for years. It had its run. You still got all the paranormal TV shows that are out there, and I don't think they'll ever go away. Some of them have dropped off, but I don't know. I'm kind of hoping Bigfoot comes back. I really am.
Me too.
I like Bigfoot.
The hide and seek champion has to come out of the forest again. We need some better footage. Coop, I'm going to get you to hold on. The ET Connection happens the first Monday, make that Friday, of every month. Usually it's with R. Keith Andrews. He's in the hospital right now, dealing with some health issues. Filling in is Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. We'll be back with more right after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio. or our website, including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything is an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Hi, there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal is filling in for R. Keith Andrews tonight on the ET Connection. If you haven't heard or you're just tuning in, R. Keith Andrews had a stroke on December 27th. He is okay. He is currently in hospital here in British Columbia and making sure that he's okay. There is no serious damage. He is still fine. He's just got a couple of little minor health issues that he has to try and rehabilitate, but he will be back hopefully in the next couple of months here. And until then, Mr. Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal is going to take your questions. So if you have any questions for Coop, make sure you type them in capital letters in the chat rooms or on Twitter, and we will get our best for you guys to read them. So tonight we are talking ghosts versus aliens. Is there a connection? Is there not? We bring back Eric Cooper once again from Forest Moon Paranormal. Coop, good to have you.
Oh, always great to be on SOR. I'm going to add one. I'm going to add one thing. I know for a fact that demons and aliens despise each other. There is no love lost between those two races. And I don't think it really even matters which race of alien you're talking about. Demons and aliens do not get along. We've had cases where we actually have worked with one versus the other. So
yeah, I think I don't know about that. You know more than I do in regards to this, but I'm more curious in regards to the idea that there is a connection somehow between the spiritual side of ghosts and what we encounter there, as well as the extraterrestrial side. And if you really want to hit peak woo, which, by the way, our store is open now on Spaced Out Radio, and we do have peak woo t-shirts on there. I have to get in the shameless plug. But we're still working on Team Stump, so just wait for that. It is coming. But nonetheless, right. And there is plethora t-shirts too, I should mention. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm all over the map with it tonight. But nonetheless, I totally forget where I'm going. Nonetheless, if you want to go peek woo, you can also throw in the connection of Bigfoot and other cryptids as well. I think there is some sort of spiritual tie-in between all three different realms. I really do. I know I'm probably in the minority when it comes to that, but nonetheless, there seems to be some sort of anecdote, because when I look at my own situation and my own experiences, it started very, very ghostly. Then Bigfoot came. Then the UFOs came. And it just seems like it's all tied together.
Well, even when you're talking, when we had the ghost hunt at the 108 Mile Heritage Museum, back at your Paracon. And, it was interesting because we have the spirit side, and then I can't remember his name. He's on Mike's team. Was it Jay that got the picture of the alien in the bunkhouse?
Yeah, that was Jay.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought you get a picture of an alien? Yeah. Who would have thought you would get a picture of an alien on a ghost walk? So you want to talk ties. I do think they're connected, but it's hard. The hard part is finding that actual connection. whether it's the energy, whether it's, you have different races that are interdimensional. You also have ghosts or, spirits that can go interdimensional. And you and I are on the same page as far as the Bigfoot, the belief that Bigfoot is interdimensional. So, I believe interdimension is a part of that tie.
I do too. But why do you think that so many people, and it ties into our thought of the Dave today, which we will get to at the end of the show, but why do you think so many people out there are afraid or do not believe that there is any correlation between the genres of the paranormal?
So, like I said in the beginning of the show, I do promos for FMP every week in about 70 different paranormal groups. And I get beat up. I do the same promo in all of them. And I've actually gotten beat up in UFO groups because, well, how can we talk about spirits when we don't believe in spirits, but we believe in UFOs? And, the same thing on the other side. Well, how dare you bring up aliens and UFOs because they're not paranormal? Well, what is paranormal? You have to look at the definition of paranormal to understand that they are all in the same ilk. They are all the same. They're all paranormal. They're outside the normal ranges. So I think before anyone can accept that there's a tie to them, they have to accept the fact that they're all paranormal.
I would agree, right, that they are all paranormal, but I think it goes deeper than that, Coop. I really do believe it goes deeper than that. Because if they are all moving and acting and what's the word I'm looking for? Have a higher level of consciousness or being than we do in the three-dimensional world, then there has to be some tie between them. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. And I don't think I'm doing a very good job of it. Bad host. But nonetheless, I do believe that there is something because, for instance, there have been so many witness sightings about people hearing Bigfoot around their campsites or seeing creatures around their campsites, and then all of a sudden, within minutes, there's UFOs about, and the Bigfoot disappear. There's people who've had abduction sightings where they say they recall being conscious on the ship and seeing Sasquatch. There's people who claim that they have witnessed Sasquatch coming off of UFOs. When it comes to ghosts, right. Jeff Webster, who caught the picture up at the 108 Mile where he was using an SLR camera, and the one photo that failed on the camera captures an alien instead of capturing the purple image that it normally would. So, right. I mean, or SLS camera, pardon me, not SLR. So I do believe that there has to be some ties to everything that kind of goes together. They must hang out together on the spiritual side of everything and say, okay, what wrench can we throw into the people's hands today who are looking for us?
Well, and, we've actually had cases where there were both spirit and alien involved in the same house. And the hard part is getting them separated. And you go by the sign and symptom. Aliens generally don't make wood knocks, or they don't knock on doors. They don't. You have the random case where an alien might, but they are rare. And I say again, I think a lot of it's got to do with energy and vibration. If you have the same energy and vibration in a client's house, for example, you can actually have both of them, both alien and spirit. It's a matter of raising the vibration of the home, and only the good can stay. The negative has to go away. Now, not all aliens are bad. Not all aliens are good. In fact, we've had this argument and discussion before that, there's even good reptilians. Everyone has this negative connotation that all reptilians are evil. Well, are all humans evil? Are all humans good? No, there's good and bad humans. Well, why can't there be good and bad reptilians, out of the multiple races of reptilian there are. So just because one race has the reputation of being bad and evil, doesn't mean they all are.
I got a couple questions from our audience right now coming on in, and we're going to start with Uncle Dale in the SOR Space Travelers. And much like when you have your beard, even though you've been ripping us off lately with that, I am going to say that Uncle Dale's power stash that he is carrying these days, you never know if it's him or the power stash that are actually asking the question. I think when he gets a little bit more science-y, I know that's not a word, but when he gets a little bit more sciencey, I do believe it's the power stash. So he is asking, or the power stash is asking, are aliens spiritual entities? Are demons physical entities? So let's start with are aliens spiritual entities right off the bat?
Again, I think it depends on the race. Some of them can be. And then you get in the argument, are demons really, or are aliens really demons? No, they're not. Aliens are... There's hundreds of races that are actually visiting this planet and have been for thousands of years. Two questions at once. Come on now. So can they be spiritual? Yes, they can. You'd have to look at... I wish Keith was here. Keith would be great at this question. Can aliens be spiritual? Yes, they can. Some of them are. Pleiadians, for example, are. Greys are not. Greys are more scientific. So it depends on the race, depends on what their motivation and what their agenda is. Now, demons, can they be physical? Yes, they can.
Okay. So this...
But demons are generally in their own realm. They have a realm. It's not hell. But they do have a realm that they exist in. And they can pass back and forth. Now, most of your demon cases, though, demon cases are actually rare. Usually the cases we deal with are lower level. You have lower levels and you have higher levels. Higher levels don't mess with humans. Every once in a while, if they do, you will find they don't do physical harm. They actually manipulate your psyche. They're the ones that will make you depressed. They're the ones that will actually make you kill yourself through depression. Whereas it's the lower level demons that are actually causing the scratches and the attachment, the pain, the headaches, the disorientation, things like that. And again, you can tell which ones are which by the energy level.
Well, let's get to a follow-up question from Uncle Dale's mustache. And he says, why aren't the good aliens protecting us from bad aliens then?
Because they're not here. Again, it depends on the race. And I'm going to go into different agendas of different races. For example, Keith always talks about consortium. Now, consortium is kind of like a council. Some people have called them the Council of Five. Some people have called them the Council of Nine. Some people have called them the Galactic Federation. It's pretty much all the same thing different groups of people are talking about. And they're not here for the humans. They're here for the planet. We're just kind of a byproduct of the planet. We're living here. But you're not here to help you. Now, when it comes down to we're going to destroy the planet either through a nuclear war or some other kind of manipulation, then they'll intervene. But they're not going to intervene otherwise. Now, every once in a while, you'll hear about the Pleiadians stepped in on one case. You'll hear about different races, cured cancer and actually healed diseases on some contactees. Things of that nature, but for the most part, they're not here to manipulate or help or even cause harm with the humans.
Selfish aliens. Selfish aliens.
Yes, they are. Now, I'm going to follow up with, so humans do the same thing a lot of the aliens do. Humans are scientific. we'll take an animal, we'll release them back into the wild. So you got the scientific races. The scientific races are here, and I think there's a lot of DNA manipulation. Is a big, because you'll find a lot of abductees that if they ask their parents or the grandparents, they've been abducted too. A lot of times they'll stick with one family line, or multiple families, but you'll find that the abductees their whole family's been taken over many generations because they're watching the DNA manipulation of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of and a lot of it has to do with the hybrid children that are here too. Because back in the 90s when I first started my research on this and working with abductees, you found women were impregnated. They were taken to the craft within 2 to 3 months of gestation, and the fetus was taken out. Now you find where they are impregnated, but they're allowed to have a natural birth here on Earth. So you can see the evolvement in even the hybrid program. Then you have the aliens that are abducting for the purpose of social experiment. These are the abductees that talk about having mind scan, and that's where the alien is looking them eye to eye while they're watching, like a TV screen, where they're actually watching either an apocalyptic event on the Earth or watching a mother holding a child. They're watching war, something of that nature, and they're actually watching the human emotion aspect. And then, of course, there's a couple races that eat humans, and I think that's where part of your missing people problem comes from. But it depends on, again, which race, because there's hundreds of races that are here, 16 that are known to abduct for, various purposes of their own.
Interesting. All right, let's get to Sharon in Arkansas. Sharon in Arkansas, whatever. I know. I just like bugging her. Everybody's like, "You stupid Canadian, don't be talking like that." But nonetheless, Sharon is asking, aren't ETs just humans like us, but from a different planet?
No.
Why not?
They can be. If you look at it, we went to the moon and we were aliens to whoever was on the moon or on Mars or, insert planet there. But when they start coming here and manipulating humans here, that kind of changes perspective. Some races are actually just interdimensional. They don't have a planet. So for the most part, I suppose she's right. They have their own planet with the habitat or cohabitate on. But
right.
Again, it depends on the race. It depends on the race, and then it depends on where they're from. Whether it's Vita Reticuli or the Pleiades or Calypsi Ray, or depends on where they're from.
Right. You're sounding a little bit muffled there, buddy, and we got about 2.5 minutes here before we have to go to break here. But you know what? I don't know if I would want to be called an alien if I were to, jet off to another planet. Maybe that would be a cool title. I mean, you could wear your Peak Woo T-shirt. You could, bring some spaced out radio garb for the aliens on the other side, or whatever you want to call them, extraterrestrials, off-worlders. Star people.
Right.
Well, that's the one that drives me nuts. Star people. But
Star people,
yeah. Sounds way too etheric for me. But you know what? I can see where that would kind of come into play, though. Where, do they really know? Do they know they're aliens? Do they even know what the term alien is? Right?
I'm still curious. I'm still curious which race it is that has the Molanoa, or however you say that. I always butcher that word.
Oumuamua?
Yeah, there you go.
I still think it's very... you know what intrigues me about that, and I mentioned this, I think it was last week when we were talking about it. What interests me about that one is that they drew it because they never saw it. They don't know what shape it is. Yet they drew it like a cigar shape, which is so UFO-like. I found that very intriguing. You know? Very intriguing.
What intrigued me is the level of the scientists that we're talking about, or the professors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was very interesting. Sharon has another question, and we're going to follow it up after the break. It's about interdimensional beings when you mentioned Sasquatch and you and I believing they're interdimensional. We'll get into that in the next half hour. So it's just, you know what? We only got about 45 seconds here before we got to go off to break, so there really isn't any point in getting into that heated and hefty discussion about the reigning hide-and-go-seek champion for 54 years running. By the way, Todd Standing has a new video out. It's not good. It's not good at all. But
so is Dante. Dante Centauri has been back.
Now, he wrote the Alien book.
Yeah.
Species
and he
book.
said he wasn't coming back. But all of a sudden he's back with a vengeance, putting all kinds of videos out.
Well, you never know.
That has me worried.
Well, that doesn't have me worried. I think what he's probably worried about is his bank account. Lots of money to be made, buddy, on extraterrestrials. Look at Secure Team 10.
He's not making any money from what I understand, though.
Oh.
I mean, unless he's getting paid by YouTube subscribers, I don't know.
Probably. Coop, you hold on. We're going to be right back. Eric Cooper filling in for R. Keith Andrews on the ET Connection. Your questions and the topics of the night coming up right after this on the Mighty SOR.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Do you want to know what's really going on in your world? Do you have questions about who you can trust in the mainstream media? Then look no further than the Rebel Planet. Come get the straight answers right here at spacedoutradio.com. Join me, Jamie Sexton, creator of Rebel Planet News, as I fill you in on the stories behind the stories. All you truth seekers, be sure to tune in to Rebel Planet on spacedoutradio.com the third Thursday of every month.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social media freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social media freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today. The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to the second hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you for being with us. This Saturday and Sunday, Tessa Nicole Thomas is back with Spaced Out Weekend. She gets going at 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on the SOR Radio Network, Deep Talk Radio, and Revolution Radio, like Basement in New Hampshire. Big shout out to you for tuning us in tonight. Thank you. Don't forget, you can also check our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Mike McNeil has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Orientaceous. Orientaceous is your password. Excuse me, lost my voice there for a second. Orientaceous is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as Mike sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. Right now, you can officially start shopping at the Spaced Out Radio store. T-shirts, hats, bags, towels, socks. We got it all for you, including your Peak Woo and plethora T-shirts. And you can check up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire on our website and so much more. So, our Keith Andrews comes in for the first Friday of every month with the ET Connection. However, Keith is ailing in hospital right now. He suffered a stroke late last month on the 27th, and we wish him very, very well. Filling in for Keith is Forest Moon Paranormal's Eric Cooper. Coop, welcome back.
Oh, always fun to be here.
I want to give a big shout out to a couple of people who are very important to me and Spaced Out Radio. Happy birthdays go out to Catherine James, who does all of our web work, as well as Everett Thiemer, who's been on this show numerous times, our former news director. Happy birthday to both of you. I hope that you have just a fantastic, fantastic day. Now, Coop, right before the break, Sharon was asking a question in the chat room regarding interdimensional beings. You and I are on the same page with this one. We think that Bigfoot is some sort of supernatural type creature. Why do you think that?
Well, for many reasons. For one, there's been many cases where they'll follow tracks and they'll go and, because I get, well, he climbs up a tree, that's why the tracks disappear. No, I'm talking, it's snow. And they'll be tracking these tracks into the middle of a field, and they just disappear. That's one example. Two, where are the bodies? And before anyone says, "Well, you don't find bear body," well, hunters have encountered bear and coyote and cougar bodies before, but you won't find a Bigfoot. And the third, and I think the most important, is the game cams. Whereas you and I both know people will put up game cams, and they'll have the camera up, and you'll see the coyote walk by, you'll see the rabbit hop by. All of a sudden, the camera's going to go white, and you'll hear primate noises. And as soon as the primate noises, go away, the camera goes back to normal. That's not a malfunctioning camera. That's a camera that caught something that manipulated the energy field. Because if it was a malfunctioning camera, the camera would just stay white. So that's where I am. And if you look at First Nations legend and lore with Hairy Man, you will find that he was seen as a guardian. And that's where I stand with Bigfoot.
Me too. I absolutely believe that too, and I don't take it at anybody's word. I take it at what I saw. After I saw the two Bigfoot, a few days later, I felt like we were being followed by one on my friend's property. And when I turned back and looked, they have this old giant cherry tree in behind their house, and from the ground to about 8-10 feet up, I actually saw pixelation. Now, there was a group of 4 of us. Only one other person in the group saw that pixelation. And as we continued our walk, about 10, 20 seconds later, 30 seconds later maximum, that's where we got roared at from behind the house. So I am a firm believer that there is something to it. First Nations around my area of British Columbia do believe that he is a shapeshifter or an interdimensional being. I'm not saying that he's interdimensional. I just think there's something supernatural about this creature. Maybe it is interdimensional. Maybe it is a shapeshifter. Maybe it's a tulpa. Maybe it's a skinwalker type creature. Although I don't see that because, Bigfoot around British Columbia has been known to be very docile, and the minute it sees people seems to get the hell out of Dodge very, very quickly. But that's why I believe there is something to it.
Exactly. And you can't, I agree. You can't stand in stay with fact, yes, they're interdimensional, because nobody knows anything. These are all theories that we discuss, and based on the research we've done and the things we've seen. Anyone that says that they know it all and wants to argue these points and that they don't need to learn anything more is a fool, and you walk away from them. Because, we learn something new every case we do. So there is no definitive answer on any of this.
And that's the big thing. And, when it comes to Bigfoot, we've discussed this ad nauseum on the show. All right. Nobody knows what it is. I think the people who are looking for it as a primate or a relative of Gigantopithecus or whatever, I think that they are missing out on a huge piece of research. Same goes for the people who live in eastern Washington who believe that Sasquatch are people too and should have voting rights. Right? I think they're missing the boat on it. There has to be a happy medium in between. And, I can only go by what I saw. I only believe what I saw with my eyes. People may not believe my story. That's fine. That's completely fine. But when it comes down to it, I know what I saw. I'm not going to BS my audience over it. That's for sure. So let's just run with it.
And there's even, I kind of border the thought that he might be a part of the Fae. Is he
Ronald
Fae?
Murphy believes
that. I don't think so, but I do think he's a guardian of the earth. I think he's a guardian of the mountain reaches. And he's very, very territorial. We have one story where the guy was just taking pictures, and he had a rock thrown and it landed about 10 feet from him, and he looked around and said, whatever, and ignored it. And another rock landed about 5 feet from him. And he laughed and said, "You got to do better than that." And when the rock landed right at his feet, he said, "Okay, got your point. I'm gone." And he packed up his stuff and he left. So I do think they're territorial. I have heard, more aggressive stories, not really life-threatening per se, but, if you don't listen to them, they're going to get a bit more aggressive and let you know they mean business. But my personal experiences have been, we've made primate noises and gotten wood knocks in return, which shows me a more intelligent, being. So I think they're great. I think it was Gary. Gary asked, "What would you do if you saw a Bigfoot? And would you shoot him?" I went, "No, I would shake his hand." I think it's great when you see counties in Washington State, you see, Providence in Canada that actually have gone out and made it law that you don't kill Bigfoot. And I think it's the fact that they even mention that there is a Bigfoot kind of shows you even some of our governments think the Bigfoot exists.
Well, that's a whole different kettle of fish right there, my friend. Whole different kettle of fish. Let's get back to the questions from the audience because they kind of dictate this Friday night show. Bazooka Joe, whom you met up here, he is asking, in your opinion, how are people chosen to be contacted by aliens?
So there's a few theories with that. Some, some believe that you actually signed a past life contract. Those contracts can be broken. I don't think anyone's really got any definitive answer on that. Because, you've got people that beg and plead now, I'd love to be abducted, but who'll be careful what you wish for. Because it's the ones that are being abducted that don't want to be anymore. But I don't have a good answer for that. Some think it's the RH negative factor. I don't see that. I haven't seen a solid pattern on that. Being RH negative does not, it's simply a lack of protein in your blood. It's not a blood type, like some people like to argue with. But is there a pattern with it? I haven't seen one. I know, positive blood types that are being abducted just as much as the negative. So those are the only factors I can give you for an answer on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe in the whole RH negative. I don't know why. That just sounds hokey to me. That's a personal opinion. There may be something to it, but my own personal opinion, I don't think there is anything to it. I think what it is it does deal with timelines, and it depends on also, and I'm sure you would think about this, Coop, I think it depends on the experience, because sometimes if you have a close encounter where all of a sudden, let's say you take your dog out for a bathroom break at 2:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden there's a craft hovering above your house as it's flying by, they may all of a sudden look at you and say, oh, there's one. Let's pick it up. Let's see what it's all about. It spotted us. Let's go check it out. I think there's a lot of that too. I mean, it's just like, you go hunting, whether it's with a camera or a gun. If you go hunting for something and you got it and you see it, you want to grab that photo, or you want to, if you're a hunter hunting for food, not sport, because I'm not a supporter of sports hunting, you go and get that. You go and get it because that's what you're there for. And I think that's kind of what it's like for them as well. All of a sudden, a human pops its head out. Hey, let's grab him. Let's go for a party. Take him for a spin. Let's get him all screwed up on our juice. Let's get him all screwed up on our juice so he doesn't remember what's going on.
I'm listening, and I want to talk about that some more real quick. But wow, so Sir Robin's a good question.
No, just file through that question. Get your answer, and I'll get to Robin's. Because I'm way behind here.
Okay. Sir Robin is asking, would forest rangers keep quiet to not scare the hikers, even though the mountain's big, Bigfoot's roam there, UFO activity or paranormal activity? Wow. I look at David Paulides, if you want a solid answer on that one. Would rangers be quiet? There's a lot of factors involved with that. For example, you have proof that there's Bigfoot. You have proof of UFO activity, that kind of thing. It can affect the logging industry. And in some areas, the logging industry is the only economy for some areas. So would it be quiet over that? Possibly. There's a lot of factors with that. Are forest rangers quiet? Yes, they can be. Depends on what national forest you're talking about.
Can I add to that for a quick second? I think there's also a lot of forest rangers, and up here we call them. Oh goodness, the name just passed my mind. Let's see, in fishing they're called DFOs, but let's say wildlife officers, fish and game officers. Okay, who travel around, and they've seen some pretty weird things, man. They've admitted to it privately, but they're not about to put their job on the line to go public with this. No. And, I had a chat with Larry Anderson. He's our Bigfoot guy on FMP here in Skagit County. And he told me straight up, every deputy in our county that works upriver here in the mountains has had a Bigfoot experience. But, it's funny. They won't talk about it, just like you said. They're not going to put, the woo-woo factor comes into play, and they're going to lose their job, or they're going to get looked at as that crazy guy that wears a badge,
So, yeah, I think when society and I think we're heading in the right direction. I think last year was a perfect example of the UFO side of it. But when the media actually comes out and can actually talk about everything all the time with a straight face, you might get somewhere. But yeah, when they have to worry about their job because they're talking about Bigfoot or UFOs or anything of that nature, there's an issue. Because they should be able to talk about it. If they actually were able to talk about it, you might actually learn something. And until that happens, we're still going to be, hoping for the next smoking gun.
All right, let's move on here to another question. Sharon is asking, why haven't we found Sasquatch remains after they die? Also, do you think they guard their burial sites?
Well, if you look at the interdimensional aspect of it, I think they would take their remains. I think that's why you won't find them. You look at elephants. Elephants guard the remains. You look at some species out there, they guard the remains. But, it's been... So I've got two solid Bigfoot guys on the team. Tyler you met, and then Larry I call as needed, basically, if we have a Bigfoot case that we need to check out. But according to Tyler, and from what I've seen, Bigfoot migrates. When it gets to the winter, they follow the packs. They go higher into the hills. You won't find them on the lower mountains.
Yes,
they follow
I would
the food.
agree with that.
So, if, when it comes to guarding a burial site, I can't buy into that one because if the burial site was on the lower mountain, they're migrating, so they're not guarding the burial site, if that makes sense. So I think when you look at the interdimensional aspect, I think the remains go with them interdimensionally, or they take them interdimensionally.
Or they are burying them in deep, heavy rock piles. One of the two.
And that's always a possibility too. But
there is that rumor as well.
Well, we could still find them. That would be my argument with that. You'd still find them in a rock pile. With the technology we've got today, they're using technology. Technology is getting expensive. Once it drops, then we can actually get the technology we need. We could use it. But, they've got crime scene technology today where you can actually take like an X-ray underneath of the ground to look for remains. They use it on crime scenes when they're looking for a body. So we could actually use that technology to find a Bigfoot buried under a rock pile.
Good.
But who's got the technology? It's expensive. I wonder if Butch has got it.
Oh, Butch probably has it. Butch probably has it. That's for sure. If Butch has any of the toys, it'll probably be that one. But let's move on. Let's move on here because we do have other questions. Sharon is asking, I heard governments were hauling out Bigfoot bodies after fires and hiding them. That was the alleged rumor as well coming out of Mount St. Helens back on May 18th, 1980.
Okay, say that again. Izzy's distracting me here for a second.
Well,
she's brought up Neil. No, she's bringing up a good point. Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon. Neil A. What is Neil A backwards?
Alien.
Alien.
It
is.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
Anyway, what was the question?
Thank you, Izzy. Appreciate that. By the way, I hope you enjoy Coop's new beard. Anyways. Where were we? Questions. Sharon was asking, that she has heard that there are government officials hauling out Bigfoot bodies after forest fires and hiding them. We also heard that rumor around Mount St. Helens back on May 18th, 1980.
Yes, 1981, I want to say.
80. I remember that.
Was it 80? Okay. Well, yes, the National Guard was brought in. They actually recovered 2 living Bigfoot, and I believe a third was dead. If you look it up on Google, you'll actually find different websites that talk about it, and one's got an actual witness to it. I believe they're taken to Fort Lewis, which is in Tacoma, Washington. I was stationed there for 7 years. There are some areas on Fort Lewis that I would agree are very possible hiding spots where they may have taken them, but they didn't keep them on Fort Lewis. They took them, I believe, by plane. They took them to a facility in California. And every time we talk about this, I haven't had a chance to research it. I can't remember where exactly the facility is in California, though.
Me either. Probably at Joe's house.
That I agree. The owls.
Good possibility. Speaking of Joe, let's get to his main here. His main has a question. Is asking, isn't it just as probable that the Bigfoot tracks in the snow disappear because he can fly as opposed to being interdimensional? I want to know what's in your cup. Besides ice, I want to know what's in your cup with a question like that.
Right. He's got, he was flying with pointy sticks, Joe. Flying with pointy sticks.
That could very well be. Oh,
wait. No. He was catapulting with pointy sticks.
That's what he was doing. There you go.
Yep. I'll stick to it.
There you go. That works for me. Let's get to Robin's question. He is saying, would forest rangers, in your opinion, Coop, keep quiet to not scare hikers, even though the mountains Bigfoot roams free there, UFO activity, or have paranormal activity?
We already talked about that one.
I know.
David Polite.
You know what, though, and you know what, we only got about 45 seconds left before we go to break here at the bottom of the hour. But go ahead.
I'm going to change we're going to actually be exploring a lot of that this year, because that's actually one of FMP's missions this year, is to head into the mountains. I mean, I've got mountains in my backyard, so we're actually going to do more mountain missions, because I want to see if I can get Bigfoot on a spirit box in the middle of the mountains. Because you're not going to have as much spirit activity in the middle of the mountains. You're going to catch a lot of other stuff. So we have a lot of different things we're going to be looking at when it comes to the mountain areas. And, of course, we'll be hitting Bigfoot and UFOs, because Bigfoot and UFOs are in the same areas in the mountains. There's no question about that.
On that note, I got to get zip it up until the next half hour. We're at the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio. Eric Cooper doing a great job filling in for the ailing R. Keith Andrews tonight on the ET Connection. We'll be back with more of your questions right after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject, from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Welcome back to the second half of the show tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Good to have you with us. It's the ET Connection. Filling in for the ailing R. Keith Andrews is Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. Coop, welcome back.
Hey, it's always good to be here.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Amy Martin, who has done an incredible job finally getting our store open on our website. So you go to spacedoutradio.com. You click on the store. We have a multitude, some may even say a plethora of items there that you can pick up now. It's all in Canadian money, so for you United States America people, with that beautiful, ever expensive dollar to us Canadians, it's much cheaper for you. Much, much cheaper for you.
It is.
So get over there, pick yourself up a hat, T-shirts. If you're into the Peak Woo, you could get a Peak Woo T-shirt. Into the Plethora, you could get a Plethora T-shirt. Towels, socks, beanies, toques, bags.
So
we got it all.
So I got a question. If you see if you see someone wearing a Plethora T-shirt, I mean they still got a drink.
Well, I would say that would be a fantastic drinking shirt if you're going out with your friends or you're sitting around home having a glass of wine or whatever it may be.
All right.
Yeah.
And I got to give a shout out real quick. So I know William's listening tonight. And William Hovenden is one of our newest FMP team members. But he's joining the Army February 11th, the U.S. Army.
Congratulations. Thank you for doing that.
And he's going to go be a combat medic, so he can come back to the team as an EMT. I think that's awesome.
That is awesome. Congratulations. I'll give him a clap for that. Good job. Good job, and be safe. Be very safe.
Exactly.
Gary,
exactly.
we're going to continue with the audience questions here. And Gary has a question. He says, I have a question for Cooper's beard, which isn't really there right now. He is saying, why is it... Well... Still disappointed in you. But he is asking, why is it that I never see any UFOs in Clinton, Iowa, just north of Quad Cities? Never seen one here. Do aliens choose only certain parts of the United States?
Ooh, so that can be a very broad topic that we can discuss, actually, because there are hot spots. Now, are you sure you're not seeing them? Because they actually cloak. Different crafts can actually cloak. Watch the clouds. If the clouds swirl, if the clouds have lights in them, if it's just an odd looking, it doesn't look like a Fitz cloud, then that could be a craft. But to an extent, yes, they do pick and choose. And they also pick and choose who sees them. Mountain areas, always a hot spot. You look at all the volcanoes, you'll always see a plethora of UFO craft around volcanoes because I believe Keith actually talked about this before, they actually use the geothermal energy from volcanoes to fuel up their craft to an extent. Also, if you go on fathersfiles.com and there's a weekly report, or if you go on newfork.org, I believe it is, Peter Davenport. Those are my two go-tos for actual UFO sighting reports. And I was going to bring this up tonight, too. Back in the 90s, there was UFOroundup.com. It's not, I think it's still there, but it hasn't been updated in like at least 20 years. But they were awesome because it wasn't a UFO roundup. It was a paranormal roundup. They actually had, famous haunting sites. They had cryptids, not just UFO, reports, but they were awesome. I don't know what happened to them. I guess life caught up to them or something. But, go look at the UFO reporting centers and you'll actually find if there actually have been sighting reports in your area. But do they pick and choose where they go? There are, we just talked about this, was it S4 or was it on Space Star Radio? About Skinwalker Ranch and the Star, what was the other place?
Stardust Ranch.
Stardust Ranch. And there are locations on the planet, Bermuda Triangle. I mean, you got a lot of hot spots. But are you looking in the right spot?
Yeah, I mean, just because you're staring up at the sky doesn't mean it's going to happen. The chances of seeing a craft that is recognizable are slim to none. I mean, you're going to be looking at things that look like satellites up in the sky. And that's what you have to try and decipher. And that's the truth of it. That's what you have to try and decipher.
And then if you do see something, there's websites you can go to see if it's a civilian craft or the airplane radar websites and whatnot. You can go verify. Plus, you got the planetary. They see if it's a planet you're looking at or not. So rule out the mundane, and anything else might be a UFO.
Could very well be. And if you see all of a sudden something that looks like a satellite, but it all of a sudden, does a 90-degree turn, you got yourself a UFO.
Also, the heat wave. Some craft can cloak, but you can still see like a heat wave effect. Or if it's black and you see, the stars start disappearing, it's just a craft with no lights on it. But pay attention. Get a telescope.
Yeah.
That's another one.
I agree. Let's get to Reverend Keith's question here. He is saying, do you consider aliens who abduct people for whatever reasons to be bad aliens?
Not always. It depends on what they're doing, and it depends. You have to look at the terror effect. Some races, again, we're changing up our protocol a little bit, but if you have to look at the terror effect. If a client is terrified by what's going on, then yes, we need to intervene. If it's a hybrid, for example, are they bad? No, they're not. You got hybrid children on the planet now that don't know they're hybrids. Some of them do, some of them don't. I think it depends on what they're doing, because again, I said earlier that you had cases where abductees were taken and their cancer was cured. So are they all bad? No, they're not. I think it depends on which race it is and what their agenda is.
I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
Well, look at Travis Walton. Travis Walton, initially when Fire in the Sky came out, the media portrayed it as this logger jumped out, he ran over, and they hit him with a tractor beam, and they abducted him. And then later, in the last 2 years, he came out with his actual biography, where that isn't what happened at all. They were doing an environmental study, and this logger came running out, and at the same time, they shot their tractor beam down. They didn't intentionally hurt the man, but they killed him with the tractor beam. So they brought him back up, they fixed him, they brought him back to life, and then they returned him. That's the new story that came out with that case. So do they intentionally harm humans? No, they don't. I think it depends on the race, though.
I would agree. I mean, I've had bad experiences. I've had good experiences. I think it all depends. I think once you are officially tagged, like so many people are, if that's what you want to call any type of implant, it's just like tagging an animal. I think that there are a multitude of species out there that could pick up on that tag, and the good guys are going to come along and they're going to check you out. The bad guys are going to come along and check you out, and there's going to be some who's like, meh, I'm just here for the hell of it. I got nothing better to do on a Friday night, so what the hell? And I honestly believe that's how it works.
Right. And I would agree. I've been I don't like using the word attacked, but I've been questioned before in other paranormal groups that, how dare you say all aliens are bad, or how dare you say all aliens are good, or I've never said all aliens are bad or good. But you have to differentiate between a contactee and an abductee. An abductee is someone that's taken against their will, had scientific or social experiments done to them, or been using the hybrid program, and don't like what's happening to them. Contactees, on the other hand, are the ones that have alien contact, and they're given messages, and they're given, messages of love and peace and harmony, and, you kind of have to sift through the information to figure out what's real and what's not, because, again, the thing with off-worlders, I'll resort back to them. We don't call them aliens as much as we call them off-world, and that came from Keith, actually.
Yes,
but
aliens.
When you look at the difference, when you look at the difference between an off-world and a spirit or a malevolent entity, they can all be manipulative. So you have to look at. I compare it all to a puzzle. You get different pieces to the puzzle. And if it all fits and it all makes sense based on your research, your experience, and the message that different, abductees are telling you, and it all fits a pattern, it all fits to the bigger puzzle.
Let's get to Renee's question. Renee is asking, she's down in New Zealand. She's American in New Zealand, so can you imagine how screwed up that accent is right now? So, anyways, sorry, Renee, I had to. I'm sure your husband is laughing now. She is asking, what are your thoughts there, Coop, on black-eyed children? Aliens, demonic, or interdimensional beings?
And I don't have a really good answer on that one because I haven't really encountered or researched black-eyed children. The one that asked that would be Christina George. She knows all the answers to that one. My thoughts on it, though, the first case of black-eyed children was, I believe, in the 80s, and it happened in Texas. The first documented. Were they going on before that? I'm sure. The interesting thing with black-eyed children is when they come to your door, I find it interesting, they can't come in unless you invite them in. And that actually fits fae or fairy lore. Again, they can't come in unless you allow them in. Demons, on the other hand, they don't have to be invited. They just, if your energy attracts them, they appear. So that would be the difference between black-eyed children and demons, for example. Again, same with aliens. They don't have to be invited. So if you look at the parallels, black-eyed children and fae have to be invited in, generally speaking, if they come to your door. So that would be my answer on that one.
Yeah, never allow them in. Never allow them in.
No.
Bad
Despite
stuff is said to happen.
Despite how angry they get. Because what are they going to do to you? Nothing. They can't.
What about the Jinn or Hat Man?
I see that. Okay, so Hat Man. Hat Man's interesting because so some of the theories that I've read on Hat Man can be his own entity. There is an entity called Hat Man. What his intention is, I have no idea. There's also an alien race that wears a hat called the Rogue, and they reside mostly off the coast of California, off the coast of Italy, Germany, and they may have expanded by now because it's been years since I've actually researched them anymore. And they're most active from January to April of each year. And they're a very violent race. They kill humans and other things. But that would be Hat Man. Jinn, so Jinn are a very confusing race because, you know, they're mostly in the Middle East, but they can be anywhere. They can travel. And they can appear as aliens. They can appear as spirits. Again, I think it all really boils down to the energy you feel. You know, and you say, Jinn,
Explain that with the energy you feel. I think that's important.
So, oh God, how do you even explain that one? It depends on if the energy makes you sick, if you get nauseous, if you get a headache, if you a negative energy, you would have to feel it to really understand it. Yeah, I'm trying to think, you know, because when I encountered the reptilians, for example, I could definitely tell their energy from other, and again, I got a splitting headache, I got nausea, but that could also be demonic as well. So you have to look at the different patterns to identify what it is you're dealing with. And when you're talking in attachments cause physical pain, usually in the lower back or the neck, back of the neck. You know, so different things cause different symptoms. Well, pay attention to your five senses, along with the energy you feel. Yeah, and I really hope I'm not sounding too confusing. It's just hard to put some things into words.
Can do that, for sure. For sure. I'll go with that.
So,
Captain Shirk, otherwise known as Rob Zombie's mistress, Gail, she is asking, after what you said about black-eyed children, I almost said black-eyed peas. Fergie, how I love thee. Yeah, Fergie and Katy Perry. Oh, I got a crush. Those are my celebrity crushes, Fergie and Katy Perry. But Captain Shirk is asking, what do you think then are black-eyed children? I mean, you mentioned they could be demonic, they could be interdimensional, they could be alien. Which way are you leaning?
Okay, so no, just to clarify, they are not demonic because demons don't have to be invited in, black-eyed children do. So where am I personally leaning? I don't know. I think there's different types. I think my personal leaning would be more alien and more fae because of the fact that they have to be invited in.
All right.
That would be my personal leaning.
We got about 3 minutes left before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. William is asking, do alien races use biologic-based technology like ours, or a hybridization of the two? It seems to me that a biological form of technology might be better at picking up biosignals, but I'm not too sure about it. What are your thoughts, Mr. Cooper?
Okay, so again, and I'm really trying not to sound like a broken record, but it depends on the race. Some races do have a higher technology that we don't have, nor will ever have. You know, and another interest that some races are here for is because there's some toys the human race does not need to be playing with. Look at CERN, look at HARP. You know, there's different things, and maybe some of the negative races gave the human race because they knew we'd destroy ourselves. You know, there's a lot of variables in there. Some of them could be biological. There are actual races that have a lower level technology. I like to also look at, and I can't remember. You know the contract that was signed with
Eisenhower,
Roosevelt, Eisenhower. There you go.
The
Greada Treaty. Yeah. Now, if you look at what came out of the Greada Treaty, you've got fiber optics that came out of that. You've got computer technology that came out of that, and I can't remember. You've got two different stories. Some of them say that it was the Greys that made the contract. Some try to say it was the Nordics. I don't think it was the Nordics. I lean more with the Greys because it's the Greys that do most of the abducting. And the agreement with Eisenhower was that they were going to be allowed to abduct in exchange for technology. Well, shortly after that is when you started getting, cell phones. You started getting fiber optics. You started getting a plethora of technology that came out. So, did some of that come from alien? Yes, it did. I would firmly believe that. Because you have some that argue that, the human race is really intelligent, and they could have designed a lot of that. Well, sure, they could have, some of it, but I think it would have taken a lot longer. You've seen a really big leap in computer technology in the last, 10 years. And they say you've got to upgrade your computer every year because of the technology leap. So, a lot of things you got to look at with technology. And I think
True. We only got about 30 seconds here, but I was going to just chime in on that. And, when it comes to any type of biologic-based technology, we also have to look at the fact that people who are now investigating and people who have claims that they've flown craft while they've been abducted. We're now looking at the possibility of that biologic technology tying into consciousness as well.
And I would agree, and I know we only have like 10 seconds left, but look at the fact that, what's coming out of late, too, is the mind being used to control craft.
That's it. Exactly.
So that would be a biological technology right there.
Exactly. Coop, you hold on. You sit tight because we are going to go to our break at the top of the hour. 2 hours down. 1 hour to go on the mighty SOR. Eric Cooper filling in for an ailing R. Keith Andrews tonight. We'll be back with more of the ET Connection on Spaced Out Radio right after this. At spacedoutradio.com, we you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you. as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
Do you want to know what's really going on in your world? Do you have questions about who you can trust in the mainstream media? Then look no further than the Rebel Planet. Come get the straight answers right here at spacedoutradio.com. Join me, Jamie Sexton, creator of Rebel Planet News, as I fill you in on the stories behind the stories. All you truth seekers, be sure to tune in to Rebel Planet on spacedoutradio.com the third Thursday of every month.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is Watching.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thanks for being with us. This weekend, Tessa Nicole Thomas is back in the studio while I'm out finding my Zen and Chi for Spaced Out Weekend. She gets going at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on the SOR Radio Network, Deep Talk Radio, and Rev Radio. Don't forget, you can also check out our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Mike McNeil has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. It is Orentiaceous. Orentiaceous is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as Mike sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. Soon shop at our brand new store. Actually, soon. We're having a little bit of issue with PayPal. It should be resolved by tomorrow, but all the items are now up on the website. It looks really cool, guys and girls. Looks very cool. You're going to want to get some swag. Make sure you pick up the socks. The socks are phenomenal. I'm going to get myself a pair of those because they look awesome. So, we got socks, man. We got socks. It's that good. Yeah, pillowcases, bags, shirts, hats, hoodies. We got it all. So, that's that, man. That is totally that. Don't forget, you can also read up on the news, the SOR Newswire put together by Captain Shirk. So for those of you who are just tuning in, we have Eric Cooper filling in for our Keith Andrews on the ET Connection. Keith suffered a stroke, a mild stroke, just after Christmas. So he is in hospital recovering. He's doing well. And so if you could send your thoughts and prayers over to our Keith Andrews, we'd appreciate that. But from Forest Moon Paranormal, we do have Eric Cooper. Welcome back.
Always fun to be here. It's always great.
Yeah.
You got socks. We got to get some S4 socks.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You need some S4 alien socks for sure.
We do.
Let's continue with our audience questions here. Gail is asking in regards to the dead Bigfoot that were found at Mount St. Helens. Who found them, and how do you know about that, Eric?
I can't remember what site I heard about that. I believe it was the National Guard that took them out. And, of course, when you have a bunch of people that are involved with something, there's always a leak. Is it hard fact proven? No, of course not. Is anything ever? It might have been the BFRO that actually brought that out, though. That was the Bigfoot Research Organization that actually mentioned that. But, yeah, it was National Guard that was actually called in to help with the military side of it. And why the military is involved in Bigfoot, I have no idea. Why would the government be? Would be the million-dollar question.
Uncle Bob in Edmonton. Hi, Bob. Love you, bro. He does our voice, introing me at the top of the hours. The man with the golden pipes. Hi, Bob. That's H-I-G-H, by the way. He's saying, Coop, do you know where do you know about the incident where the saying "little green men" came from? From what I heard, there was an incident involving a remote farmhouse somewhere in the United States where a family was terrorized for a few days by small robot-like creatures. Have you ever heard that?
No, that one I haven't. I hear about a farmhouse, and so I think of either Roswell with Mac Brazel, or I think of the Hopkinsville, Kentucky case where they weren't green though; they were like little goblins, and they were terrorizing a family for the entire night. And they were actually shooting at them with shotguns, and they were doing somersaults, and they terrorized them for the entire night. And when the sun came back out, they were gone. But no, I haven't heard of where the little green men came from.
All right. Sorry about that. Hi, Bob. We miss you around the chat rooms, though. You keep getting better, buddy. You keep getting better. Gary is asking, in your opinion, are aliens also from an alternative reality?
Again, it depends on the race, because there are some races that actually travel interdimensionally. So, yeah, it depends on which race you're talking about. I don't know any specific races that are known for the interdimensional side. I believe most of them come from interplanetary or other planets.
I think that they could be. I believe that they have, some species have the ability to alternate and run within the higher levels of consciousness. The problem is we really don't know, Eric, the extraterrestrials' full ability because there is so little information. I mean, we could sit here and we can say, okay, yes, we've had people on this show who claim they're channeling with aliens. We have people on this show who claim that they've been given these downloads, whatever those are. We have people who have had a multitude of experiences, a plethora of experiences. But when it comes down to it, we don't really know what their full capabilities are.
No. And it depends on, race. It depends on what the technology of that race. Now, I can say as far as the downloads that I do believe in, it depends on the implant they have, because there is an implant that is in the center of the brain that we don't mess with that actually causes the abductee to have holograms. And these are conscious holograms. They actually see them, consciously. And even according to Keith, this is an upload-download implant. Because you got the common implants, which are in the base of the neck, behind the ear, the arms, the legs, the feet. And a lot of those, I believe, are for tracking. You can, pack your stuff up and move from one house to the next, and they can still find you because they're location trackers. I believe some of them, now with the hybrids especially, I think there's an implant they use to mask your DNA. So you can go to the doctor, you can get your blood test done, and you're not going to have alien DNA pop up because it's a DNA masker. And then of course you got the information upload download implants. Depends on which race it is, because every race has their own implant type and their own implant style and own purpose. But that's what we've experienced as far as on the abduction side with the different implants and their purpose.
Moving on here, I'm just scrolling for questions to see if I'm missing any from our audience. No, I think we're actually all caught up. I do want to remind our audience in the chat rooms, make sure you type your questions in capital letters so that way I do not skip over any of them. And apparently I got the password right twice. Only got one big mention in the SOR Space Travelers. So, anyways, follow up from a hi Bob. He says, the story about the aliens with the little green men, that's the one with the goblins. That's how the press reported the little green men. That's how they got the name. Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's
that was
awesome.
That was Hopkinsville, Kentucky. That's an interesting case.
Coop, do you recommend? Sorry, I cut you off there. You finish up.
No, I I like that case. It's actually in my presentation when I give the UFO alien presentation to the team. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Sorry. I got all excited about that because I actually had a question. Do you recommend people to try and make contact with UFOs and or extraterrestrials?
Me personally, no. Be careful. Again, be careful what you wish for, and then you might get the wrong race, and you really don't want to mess with that. So, no, I don't encourage that. Now, I always look at people funny when they say, "I wish I was abducted." Why? Why? Be careful what you wish for.
But some people don't understand. They just want the experience, Coop. They just want to know that it's real, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, and then they'll be talking to us after the fact. No. Trust me, I've worked with abductees since 1994, and no, not an experience you want. Definitely not.
What about calling out, though? If you put it out there for, whether you're a peace, love, and light of God person or whatever, as long as you're putting out the good quality of energy, you can, to a lot of people, try and get a better experience with a better group.
But anybody can answer that. I mean, okay, so if you send the information out with a higher vibration, ideally you're going to get a higher vibration race. But
right.
Again, some of the information you might receive, you might not want to hear.
What type of information?
Okay, so what's the state of the planet? What's the state of the human race? Some of those answers you might not want. So in theory, based on Dante Centauri, right now we're in a window of 2017 to 2022. And there is an alien race war that's supposed to be going on. And it explains some of the cloud, some of the lights in the clouds, some of the lighting you see in some of these people's videos where you see a light that comes down, you'll see something that comes from the earth and goes up into a cloud, things of that nature. Now, if you go by that theory, 2022 is anybody's guess what's going to happen. Now, if you look at, and we discussed this, I believe, on the roundtable last week, or can't remember if it was on Space Out Radio or on S4, where my father-in-law was watching The Time Traveler. Now, is he valid? That's, again, is anyone's guess. But according to him, the aliens are going to be here in 2024, I think it is. It's either 2022 or 2024. And they're supposed to be here to fix the planet. Now, I don't know what to believe or who to believe. I really don't. The time travel guy has passed multiple. What am I thinking? Polygraphs. There we go. So does that make him valid? That's anyone's guess. But if you send the information out with a higher vibration, and, in theory, you're going to get a higher vibration race that's going to respond to you. But be careful what information they give you, and be careful what you ask.
That's important. That's very important. Let's get to a question from Robin here, who is asking, I did some study on the jinn. There are different kinds out there. Do you think there are just one or different kinds, Eric?
Personally, I think there's only one, because I think jinn are very manipulative. I believe they can make you think that there's different kinds. But going by the Quran and going by Islam, there is only one type of jinn. They're supposed to be more manipulative than demons are. So I believe that could be anyone's guess again.
Do you think they would be the North American equivalent of a tulpa or a skinwalker?
What, the jinn?
Yeah.
I believe the jinn are their own race. Much like the demons are their own race. But if you look at culture and if you look at all the different lore, it is possible.
I think there is some sort of subtle similarities between them. I really do. I really do believe that. It just seems correct. I mean, what you're hearing, take the religious context out of both. I think you're dealing with pretty much the exact same thing. That's for sure.
Okay.
Let's get to another question here, bud. Gary is asking, saying he's heard that shining a flashlight up in the sky is not a good idea. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. So I've done that before. I was in Germany. That was my second UFO sighting. And it depends on who's around, I believe. There was a specific star that was out on my balcony, and it kept sparkling like stars do, but it was brighter than normal. So I took my flashlight and I, flashed it at this star, and this star has shot down to about, airline level. So I guess 1,300 feet, whatever. And I hovered there for about 5-10 minutes, and we just kind of looked at each other and couldn't see any windows. I couldn't see. It wasn't close enough for me to actually see a physical structure. But after 5 or 10 minutes, it shot back up to its original point of origin. And so, can you shine a flashlight and make something come down? Yeah, yes, you can. But again, I believe it. It depends on who's around and if they want to show themselves or not.
Obviously. And you know what? If you think aliens are around, we should also point this out too. If you think you got aliens, much like bees or hornets or wasps or whatever, if you got some aliens, this is how you kind of figure it out. You want to know? I'm going to figure out if I got me some aliens around the property. But
Get some alien spray.
I don't know why I find that funny. I really don't. And by the way, the old water spray bottle does not work for aliens. I don't know where that ever came from. But nonetheless, you can tell, because if you've ever been around a haunted location, dealing with spirits and ghosts, they're at a real lower level of energy and vibration. So when you're around ghosts and you're around spirits, your shoulders feel a little heavier, your head hurts a little bit more, and you really have you feel drained around ghosts, where it's the exact opposite that I have noticed, at least with extraterrestrials, where it's a very higher vibration of a feeling that you get. Cooper, have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here reading the chat. Again, the lower vibration is where you're going to feel depressed. You're tired all the time. You have no energy. You raise your vibration. Lower vibration is where you actually bring in the malevolent entities, and that's where your more negative races are going to be able to be drawn in. So one of the things we do on the team is raise vibrations so the aliens can't come in. I think that's where the misconception comes from. The aliens are demons, because the demons are the same way. But they are different races. They aren't the same whatsoever. But yeah, a lot of it, and I think that's where your spiritual connection comes from, is the higher, lower vibration levels, which come from the human body.
Catalina has a question. She is asking, what do you think of that incident in New York recently with the blue lights? Mothership or electrical outbursts?
I think it was a combination. I think it was a mothership that was feeding off the electrical outburst.
Oh, listen to you. There's a new theory. Where are you going with that?
Well, because there's a lot of witnesses that satellites in the sky along with, the blue light. So if you look at that, I think some ships need to feed off electrical energy. I think I already mentioned the geothermal aspect with volcanoes, but you've got many cases where they were actually able to shut down nuclear power plants or missile silos and things of that nature. So yeah, I do think there's been cases where ships have been seen around power plants and things of that nature. So I do think it was a combination that drained the energy, and nobody lost power though. It was more like a surge, from what I understand.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the fact that it was completely natural with places blowing up. That's what I think it was. When you're having electrical transformers blow up, that's what I think it was. That's just me. I'm not saying it was anything alien. I've seen the footage. I'm going to take the opposite stand here, Coop. We may have to drop the gloves here, buddy. We may have to drop the gloves. Beard versus beard here. Because I'm packing more beard than you are right now for the first time.
Right now.
But I honestly do believe, I do believe that it was just a major transformer type fire, and I'm not talking Autobots and Decepticons going at it. I just believe that it is something very, very human about that, and that's the way I'm going to stick with that one on my answer.
And Trip's giving me crap in the chat room of all the different areas they picked New York. Well, if you look at, so we actually had this discussion in FMP. If you look at the color of the light, generally speaking, when you're talking electrical energy, it's a different color blue. That was like a neon blue, if I remember right. And it wasn't your normal electrical blue. So, yeah, potato, color of the light.
Well, I know looking at Tripp's comments here, I'm pretty sure that's meant to be said like this. Oh, for F's sake, seriously, Mr. Cooper, brother. Out of all the desolate areas, they pick New York for energy, brother. What are you smoking down in Washington State, brother? I could see Tripp
I'll tell you what, you can't get that kind of energy in the Midwest, brother.
There you go. There you go. That was nice. That was very nice. Giordano would be proud of that one. Giordano would be absolutely proud over that one. We only got about 35 seconds here before we're going to wrap this up. What do you got to say?
Well, I'm being poked and prodded about telling the Hitler story, so I can tell it in 30 seconds. No. Walking down.
You know what?
Okay.
I don't want the 30-second version. It's too good. Stick around. We'll get to the. We'll get to this story, and then what we'll do, because our audience deserves the full story on this one. This one's way too good, and then you can hang out with me for the news and the thought of the day as well.
All right.
Yeah. Trip also says, with that comment, brother, you should have been on the streetlight UFO guy, brother. That's awesome. Way to go, Trip. You fired me up, buddy. You fired me up.
Right.
Hey, Coop's going to stick with us for the next half hour while we get into the news. He's going to tell a good story. We'll get to the thought of the day as well. You are listening to Spaced Out Radio. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social media freedom can take care of that for you. Social media freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything is an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night. Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We've rounded third. We are heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Eric Cooper is still with us from Moon Paranormal, filling in for R. Keith Andrews tonight. And once again, we're asking all of you out there to give a little thought and prayer for R. Keith, who suffered a mild stroke a couple days after Christmas. He's a single dad of two boys, and they're, I think, 20 and 12, 20 and 13, 20 and 14. Two of those ages. 12? Is it 12? Yeah. Send him a shout out. He really needs it. He could really use some SOR love, and send him that way. Coop, as we bring you back here, we're going to get you to tell an incredible story, what happened when you were in the United States Army, serving over in Germany, stationed there. And before we do that, do want to remind people, I know a bunch of you are trying to get onto the Spaced Out Radio store now, as we do have product up there, some great swag for you to get a hold of. We're having a little bit of an issue hooking up PayPal. That should be resolved by the end of the day tomorrow. And so if you can hold off till then, there's going to be lots of stuff there for you. And then you can go on your shopping spree. That would be awesome if you could. Coop. Damn PayPal. I'm shaking my fist at PayPal right now. Damn PayPal.
Yeah, it can be a pain.
All right, Coop, you got the conch. Tell us this awesome story. I love hearing this. I've heard it about 20 times now, and I never get sick of this one, man.
Oh, and yeah, it's so confusing because I don't know if we were walking through a time shift or a time warp, or I have no idea what happened. But, I was in Bad Hersfeld, Germany, and so our base was like on top of a hill. You walk down the hill, you walk into town. And I was with one of my cook buddies, AJ. I've been looking for him. I can't find him because he'd be great to have on the show to tell his side of it too. But we hadn't had another drink. We were walking down to go clubbing, and we're walking through an alley. And right in front of this alley is the main street of this downtown Bad Hersfeld. And so there's what's called the Ratskeller. Now, the Ratskeller is like the city hub. It's a political building, kind of like your Chamber of Commerce. And as we're walking, now we're walking in silence. We're not talking. We're both thinking of the club we're going to, probably. But both of our vision went black and white. And in front of us is a 1920s style limousine with the Nazi flag on one side, the German flag on the other. And it wasn't so shocking at that moment, I don't think, until we saw Hitler and his entourage come out of the building. Now, my question is, because they all stopped and looked at us. Now, I don't know if they saw a couple of U.S. GIs walking towards them down an alley, or if they saw, in their mind, a couple of Germans coming towards them. But they didn't look shocked. There was no look of, oh, my God, who is this? Just kind of a passive, oh, there's a couple of Germans coming towards us. And we got to the end of this alley and took a left up the street we were going. And our vision went back to color. And, we walked in silence for about 5 minutes. And we stopped. And we both stopped at the same time. He looked at me and he's like, Coop, did you see something weird back there? They're like, oh my God, did your vision go black and white and you saw Hitler? And we both got excited because we both saw the exact same thing. And, we both looked back, and of course everything's back to normal. It's just an empty street. But was it a time shift? I have no idea. I still don't. Just one of those weird things of you walk through a time warp or something, and there's Hitler. Now, historically, Hitler was all over Germany. So he very could have been in, Bad Hersfeld at some point in time. Because I've been to Hitler's, Berchtesgaden. There we go. Or it's spelled Berchtesgaden. And it's like a hideaway up in the middle of the mountains. And I've been to that spot. I was sent there on a vacation after there's a storm for a weekend. And very elaborate, very awesome castle it was. So Tripp is wondering what caused her vision. If you think it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Why would our vision go to black and white? Well, if you're walking through a time shift or a time dimension, your vision wouldn't be color, I wouldn't think. It would be black and white because you're going back in time. So neurologically speaking, I don't know. I don't have a solid answer on that, but in a weird way, it makes sense. It would be black and white.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to the news, shall we? You ready?
We shall.
All right. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire each and every night on this show. The Newswire on our website, spacedoutradio.com. Click on News. It's right beside the Shop tab. So if you want to check out our store, that works as well. Captain Shirk providing us the news tonight. You know what, Coop? We're going to start up near your neck of the woods, a couple of hours away, but we're going to start off with some good news tonight. And there's no snark on this one or anything like that, but in Pullman, Washington, at Washington State University, all right, this is a good news story. They have actually brought in classes for special education students who have learning or developmental disabilities. So now students who have diseases like Down syndrome or other types of diseases, learning disabilities, impediments, or whatever, they can now go to university to get their degrees. I think that is phenomenal. I really do.
Agree.
This is just... this is just great news. Great news, I think. When we talk about taking steps forward in society, Eric, this is one of them. Mm-hmm. This is how we start. Just because somebody has a handicap doesn't mean they can't contribute. And
not by any means.
I really hope that every university out there jumps on board with Washington State University. I think this is absolutely fantastic. It's a great program that they call ROAR, R-O-A-R. And what that stands for is, I just had it here. Oh, this is going to look horrible on me, but it stands for Responsibility, Opportunities, Advocacy, and Respect Program. It's a 2-year program, is operated by the College of Education, provides life skills, health education for students who can also audit college courses, work in internships on campus, and get very, very good experiences. Participants or their families do pay tuitions and fees, but they're all eligible for financial aid. This is just a fantastic program. Fantastic. We need more of that. That's good news.
We do.
Very good news. Very good news. We're moving on here. All right. Here's one for the military pilots. Apparently, some of these pilots, they got to fly a long ways. If you're flying from the United States over to the Middle East, that's a long flight. Very long flight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like 8, 10, 12 hours that you're sitting in a tiny cockpit of a jet fighter. How do you go to the bathroom? Well, they originally had like this whole peeing into a bag thing, but it got a little awkward for men and women. So a device has been developed that detects urine and flushes it into a bag for storage.
That's just weird.
Yeah. Totally. It's called a relief tube. I don't know how this works. I'm sure it's in the story. All right. The United States Air Force has 600 devices so far, another 1,500 ordered. By the way, that's about 540 more than the Canadian Armed Forces has in air fighters. But nonetheless.
I wonder how much that costs.
Oh, I don't see a price on here. I don't see a price. But you know what? I couldn't imagine. I really couldn't imagine being stuck on a plane for like in a cockpit like that, like in an F-18 or an F-16 or an F-22, and all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh. Really should not have had that chili burrito right before we take off, right? Something has to.
Well, it took about 19 hours to get from the States to the Middle East on a regular plane, and yeah, no, I couldn't imagine holding it. Yeah, we'll just stop there. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, you know what? We're going to continue on with the news here because Washington, your home state of Washington, could become the first state to compost the dead. What?
It took this long?
The method is called recomposing and claims to be cheaper and more environmentally friendly than traditional burial or cremation. It involves rapidly decomposing a body and converting the remains into soil. Wow. Whole new meaning to ashes and dust to dust right there. Anyways, that nutrient-rich material could then be used to grow trees, flowers, and other new life. Oh, what? We could go down to, the plant store and pick up some human, dirt, so that way our garden grows a little bit better. That's kind of gross.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't put that in my garden. It reminds me of a Criminal Minds episode where they're putting the I can't remember the episode, but they're burning kids and they're putting the ashes in the roses, and there are some great roses, but yeah, I couldn't even imagine that one.
Well, you know what? Apparently, you go in Washington State. It costs about $7,000 for a funeral and or cremation when you get through the embalming fluids and everything like that. Or $5,500 to compost a body. It's called the green burial. Biodegradable urns planted to grow trees. That looks pretty cool. All right. That one looks pretty cool. I was actually talking about that the other day. I was talking about that with Mrs. SOR the other day. That, if when it comes time, because we all have to plan, I would like to be one of those trees, man. I think that's a good way to go. One of those trees.
A cedar or an oak.
Yeah, I want to be a big tree, man. That's what I want to be in my next life, a big tree. I wonder if you could reincarnate into that because the energy is still there.
Reincarnate as a cedar?
Yeah. Until they decide
a logger
to log.
comes and cuts you down.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, we're moving on here because we do got to get to the thought of the day here in a minute. All right, there's a British woman who uses asparagus to predict future shares, to predict the future. All right, her premonitions for 2019. I'm assuming that. She's one of the 34% of people who eat asparagus who have the smelly urine. But she says the asparagus gives her about an 80 to 90% accuracy rate. Does celery work? No. Asparagus only. Asparagus only. She said some of her predictions that for 2019... Let's see. Fears over Brexit will prove largely unfounded. The trade war between China and the U.S. will end, but there will be a recession in the U.S. that will affect us all. Oh, my God. And here's an important one. Big Brother will return to our screens despite Channel 5 in the U.K. declaring the Winter 2018 series to be the last. Oh, my God. How could we ever miss out on the Big Brother series? We're going to wrap it up with a beautiful Florida story here because, we love our Florida stories here. This is a nightly tradition here. Florida mugger apparently attacks a senior who was a kickboxing champion, then loses. So anyways, this dude, 68-year-old Steve Shepard, was limping to his car last week after he pulled a muscle. So what happens is this mugger decides to take advantage of this limping old man and hits him in the head with a bottle and demands his cell phone. Well, the former 5-time world kickboxing champ didn't like that. Though he's been retired for 18 years, well, let's just say there's a few black and blue bruises on this attacker's head. Well, he smashed a hook into his ribs, crumpling him. The bystanders interceded, and the man escaped. However, Shepard did suffer a ruptured eardrum, a cut, and a bruise. They are looking for the man who looks around 20 years old. Yeah, don't just attack people. You don't know what their defense is. Let's get to the thought of the day.
Right.
All right. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation when it comes to the Thought of the Day. Today's Thought of the Day question is as follows. What's your thoughts on the connection between aliens and ghosts? Let's get to Goddess Michelle right off the bat here. She says on Twitter, it's highly probable that whatever attracts spirits also attracts species of aliens, or she puts it, spices of aliens. In some poltergeist cases, it could be aliens instead. In the past, this has been debated a lot. I feel it's possible. I have not gathered evidence to verify it, but it's something to think about. Let's get to Han Happy Wee. Looks like the size they... Oh, well done. That's a retweet. Oh, he's talking about poutine. Never mind. Gabriel. My first experiences involving ghosts and aliens in my parents' house. It was severely haunted, and I had missing time. I remember seeing weird red writing in the sky as time froze. The aliens collected spirits. They are the caretakers of this prison planet. Jim Mallard, the duck. I haven't seen one. Besides, some folks have said they've seen both. There we go. Amy. She says, different Amy, not Amy on the radio. Different Amy. She goes, I have no idea, but I had a really good conversation with my dad. He's a pastor this past weekend about the possibility of both being demons in disguise. We go over to Facebook. And Angel says, you know where I stand on this. Yes, she believes. William, UFO researcher, said, nope, no connection. John says, samesies. Yep, they're connected. Let's go here. Merle Morin. Merle, no connection. You're so negative, Merle. Merle, come on. Chris Dodge from Forest Moon Paranormal. She says there is no connection. Bad. Joshua Cutchin, been a guest on this show. Brilliant dude. If fairy lore is, as I contend, undeniably describing the same phenomena as the modern alien contact experience, and fairies have deep connections to the dead in the worldwide mythology, where does that leave us? I think they're connected. Psychopomps? Maybe. Sarah? Because not all spirits are human. Trixie? I would have to say that there is no connection except if aliens are using some sort of cloaking tech that makes them look like shadow people or something. No connection from Chris. Neil believes they're evil demons. Kelly and Kelly's beard. I believe that the only connection between the two is the fact that they are both unproven to be fact by the scientific community. Robin, I don't think there is a connection, but I do think paranormal activity can be more active where UFO activity is. That's a good point. Lana, they are both beings, just in different forms. Therefore, they are connected. Russell, you're going to get the last word on this, because we do got to get out of here. Among his many deep insights, John Keel discovered a positive correlation during UFO flaps between reports of UFOs and poltergeist activity involving teenagers. On that note, Eric Cooper, thanks for coming on the show tonight. We wish our Keith Andrews a speedy recovery. Appreciate it, buddy.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
You hold on. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Tomorrow night and Sunday, Tessa Nicole Thomas is back in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters while I am off finding my Zen and my Chi. And hopefully a hamburger, because I'm craving one. I'll be back on Monday. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thank you this week to all of you listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Those of you bugging me about gnomes. Those of you in the chat rooms for taking part in this show and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, our store is open officially tomorrow on our website. Go check out the swag. Pick some up. We'd love you to flash it around. Thank you for being there this week. We'll do it all again next, because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Good night.